te gaan spelen. Ja, met de ballen met de veters te gaan spelen. Kom maar hoor. I'm trying to get him to come out of his nest more. Because I have to watch out that he doesn't become too fixated on it. And he loves to play with the shoestrings, and he's making a point out of touching the shoes very ever so slightly, because I want him to touch them with care and respect. You're doing that so good. Whenever he gets too enthusiastic, it becomes very hard, of course. And we've had an attack this morning. You're gonna tie me to the post of the foot of the cage. It looked like that. This morning he attacked me because I made the stupid assumption and mistake. Well, it wasn't an assumption. I just thought that his sleeping cage might be too stuffy and hot, with the weather having become cold again. I put back on the heating mat, and so I made a kind of an air vent for him. And at night I closed the curtains and I opened the window slightly so that fresh air can come in. And so he, in the past 2 weeks, he would be up at 7:30, and I'd hear him play around here. And yeah, I'm boring. I'm sorry, I'm blabbing. It's silly. And he'd, in the end, start screaming, so I'd have to get up here and install the lights. I put the lights in the closet every night because the first morning I came here, he had tuned the cords, of course. So he was on this cage, and he loves to look at this one. And I had installed a rope for him going from there to there so that he could climb it and play with the mobile. And he was afraid of it because I had installed it after he was already in his sleeping cage, and I had done it very quietly, and I thought it would be a nice surprise. Yeah, well, it was a surprise because he was sitting on this cage and he was going like, what the fuck? And he was making all the threatening moves. And I was walking over there to plug in that light. So I was here at the... And when I was in the closet getting the light, I already felt the threat of a lunge. And when I went there, I felt him. He jumped my back, and then he bit my neck. And he actually bit my artery. And boy, am I glad with the hormone implant, because he just nipped me. It hurt, but it wasn't. And I screamed. I don't think I'm ever going to make it after all these 25 years we've been together. Behavioralist doctors and wonderful people like Don from Chloe Sanctuary have, they always say, don't ever let them know that it hurts. And, I just, when I get bitten, I go like, ah! It's just, boy, I should have training for that. Just let people have it with me with a plier and just go like, no, Ricky, don't, no. Yeah. Oh, no, don't. I hope I don't get any perverts who go like, yeah, I'll ply you. No, it was just a joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, so he bit me, and I went like, and I trashed around, and he flew away, and he was like, ha ha ha, and then he immediately goes like, ew, 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 because he wants to tell me that he's very, very sweet. And I didn't know what to do, so I ended up, Don also says, not to talk or try and give them anything that they can associate it with. So I put him back into his sleeping cage, and I closed it all down so he wouldn't be able to get out. And I went back to bed for half an hour just to, try and relax. There you are again. Are you going to bind me to the foot of the cage again? It was just funny. It looked so funny. Ja, dat doe je mooi. Ja, ga je ook dansen? Ja, wat mooi zeg. Oh, poppelepee. This is how he wants me to talk. En waar is je bal? Ik kan je bal nog nergens meer vinden. Nee, maar de bal is ook niet zo leuk als de veters. Hè? The ball isn't as nice as the shoestrings. They are the nicest. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Oh, yeah, that was too funny. But he still did it softly. Je deed het nog steeds heel zachtjes. Hartstikke goed hoor. Kijk. Yeah. So I always try to start anew and go like, you did that wonderful. Dat doe je hartstikke goed. You want to hang from it? Yay! And so every morning before I had this silly idea, I would open up the curtain, and I would always, that would be our ritual. I'd go like this with my nail over the thermometer, which isn't working properly anymore, so I had to get a new one. Now this is Celsius, and when the heating mat is on, it's like between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius in here, and that's how I try to keep it. For example, he always, not now of course, but he always screams very, very mean when I get this out. It's like an alarm call, like somebody's doing something with the nest. And I'm lately watching a lot of Chloe Sanctuary videos, and I've realized that I've sexually bonded Lou to me when in the first 3 years I had him, because I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. There was no literature about cockadoos, and only 3 years later, early 2000s, I think. I had him for 2 years. I got him in 1998, and in the 2000 I came to the clinic in Meppel in the Netherlands with Hoijmeijer. He was a very good doctor. He was a very good avian veterinarian and a very good behavioralist. And he immediately told me that what I was doing, for example, our favorite game, which we did even before he lived with me, would be he would stick his foot through the bars of his cage, and I would grab his foot and I would go onto his belly, which you do with toddlers and babies. And But when you do that with a cockatoo, it's sex. So, you know, hello, Haggard. And for example, when I do this, he loves it when I do this. It makes him so at ease. But I have to really watch out not to, because this is actually me being the mate who is also, chewing at the nest hole. And he loves that. But whenever he starts, I must always care to have already stopped before he starts to fan out his tail and point it towards me, because then he's offering his cloaca. And whenever I talk to people, he often tries to sit on my hand or, press his cloaca to my hand. And it's always very elegant, and people hardly notice it. And he had this whole period where he would hit me with his beak or bob his beak onto my cheek. And people would find it endearing. But it is actually sexual behavior. It's mating behavior. And it is dangerous in that sense that he might start presenting his cloaca too much, and eventually it might prolapse. And that's a certain path to death, because according to Don, they can have like 6 operations stuffing it back in, and then it's at a certain point it's just done. And that would mean a very early death. And talking about death, I really think with Lou, the way he attacks and bites me now is way more innocent due to the hormone implant. That's very nice, because he's just, he trusts me completely, but I can never trust him completely, because he will always, at weird moments, attack me. And this time it was because I had made this, I wanted to make a rope for him, because he likes this thing very much. And he loves it when it moves. So I had made a rope for him going from there to underneath the mobile to there. And he had decided that he was scared of it. So he jumped me from here. And it's always these things where you just, you can never foretell what's going to happen, when he's going to attack, and because of what. There's always, you can't ever know everything with him. And so that's my biggest worry for when I'm, he's still got another 40 years to go. And when I have another 40 years, I'll be like 70, and I'll be like 97 or something. And I don't know if I'm still walking around and doing stuff. That would be okay, then he could join me in the grave. But and I would love that. But I'm also trying to be realistic and going like the idea that Lou has to start over. And when he starts over with someone who knows exactly what they are doing, that would be so great. But just to have to let him go and get into a system of fostering, and for people to try him out and go like, oh, he's not trusty, and he jumps me and he bites me, or, and him being brought back. I see him plucking himself bald within a year. And so I'm really thinking about trying to talk with the doctor that we are seeing now in Utrecht at the faculty to try and see what solutions there are. I think often after an attack, I think that I'm just so scared that for him to have to start over again and try to learn how to trust somebody anew. Yeah. It's in the past 10 years ago, I would think, oh, I don't want to go there. Let's not go there. But now I think, gosh, you have to be realistic. It's important to think about and make preparations. And if one of the preparations is that in that case, when that's the case, that I'm no longer capable of taking care of him because I'm either, too ill or dying or dead, and there's nobody, then I would love for Lou to be euthanized and join me in the grave. It may sound morbid and weird. It is, I'm sure. But yeah, it's how I feel about it. Well, on this note, I would love to end this video. And yeah, I had to just blab about this. The sun is shining. The birds are singing on Lou's laptop. And there's live Parrot Town TV going on. Lou is working on his nest. Life is good. And on his phone we have Don. Cockatoo. It's a playlist of videos that last an hour a piece. And you see a lot of Don and a lot of cockadoos and a lot of wisdom and lovely screaming. Lou loves the moments where they all start to scream like hell. It's one of the greatest playlists. I'm watching it too. And I'm learning still. After all these years, I still know way too little. But, okay, this, bye, 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 bye.